Welcome to the first episode of Deadbeat Diaries. I'm your host, Shauna. Thanks for joining me today. For this first episode of Deadbeat Diaries, we are going to be talking about co-parents who take their responsibility to financially support their children as an option. There are so many single parents out there that are struggling to make ends meet, and the co-parent on the other side of the equation is just living footloose and fancy-free and not taking their responsibility to support their children very seriously. People who prioritize their own needs and wants and desires over the needs of their children. If you are one, you should probably listen very closely here. I've got some strong messages for you, but this is mostly for the people like me who are left holding the bag month after month, week after week, paying all the bills, and wondering if and when they're going to receive the next child support payment to contribute to the financial support of these children. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my children. I absolutely adore them. They are not a burden to me in any way. But any single parent will tell you the day-to-day care of children is a lot. It's a lot. I get up at 6 in the morning. I have breakfast to deal with, lunches to make, kids to drive around. Then I have to work my whole day, pick all the kids up from school, bring them home, get supper ready, get homework done, take care of any meds, any medical appointments, dental appointments, orthodontic appointments, schedule it all, keep track of it all, pay all the bills up front, book the childcare, pay for the childcare. All of this responsibility lands on typically one person's shoulders, the primary parent. I am the primary parent of my kids. I don't resent that responsibility. I take that on lovingly and willingly, but it is a lot. It's manageable, but I'm pretty exhausted all of the time. As you can see, the unfiltered me, not so pretty. That's okay. I can live with that. I'm fine with that. What I can't handle is doing all of that and preparing a budget and planning out my sources of income and the timing of those things related to all of my expenditures, my mortgage payment, the taxes, the insurance, the childcare expenses, the school expenses, just everything. It's a huge amount of work just to keep track of it all. And then at the last minute, I'm informed, oh, sorry, I don't have the money for child support right now. I don't have the option to just pay my mortgage later because I feel like it. My electricity bill is due on a specific day. When my vehicle needs fuel, I don't have the option to just magically fill my fuel tank without money. So preparing a budget, planning on, when the income is coming in based on when my bills are due, is quite difficult when I don't have a reliable co-parent who is paying on time or paying the full amount when it's due. And the stress that causes, it just adds such an unnecessary layer of stress and additional work to a parent who's already spread pretty thin. Hopefully, I'll see it in a week, maybe 2 weeks, if at all. Trying to budget and plan with that kind of a nightmare, this lack of transparency, the lack of respect for the need to have information sooner than later so that I can adequately move things around to take care of my own household. And never mind how unfair it is to the other parent in the equation to do that. It is just evil to do something like that to your children, the children that you chose to have, the children that you are responsible for until they are responsible for themselves. They are legally entitled to your financial support until they're able to support themselves. It is not an option. It is not negotiable. And just because the relationship broke down at some point, and regardless of the reason of that breakdown, none of that absolves you from that responsibility. Your children are innocent victims in all of this. They're victims of your financial abuse. Their parent who is struggling financially to keep everything afloat because of your lackadaisical approach to meeting your obligations is probably not doing the greatest job parenting when they're under that kind of unnecessary strain and stress. So you're directly harming your children, you're likely harming their future, and you're also harming the parent that is taking care of those children. So, like, what are you thinking? You need to get your head on straight. You need to figure out the priorities in your life. Your fancy car is not more important than the needs of your children. Your ability to come and go as you please and go out for dinners and get together with friends on the weekend and drink, none of that is important in comparison to the needs of your children, your innocent, dependent children. They don't have the option to get their support somewhere else. And the co-parent that you're dumping all of this on is already carrying the lion's share of the work. So how dare you do that to your children and the person who's looking after your children? And as the child of a broken marriage, I know what that feels like. And maybe that's why I'm just so gobsmacked that a rational, sane adult could knowingly choose to do that to a child. I know how that felt as the child. Just don't do this. And if you are doing stuff like this, find a way to stop. You may have loads of trauma in your background. I do too. But guess what? I still show up every day. I still do all the things I'm supposed to do. I still have the ability to prioritize my kids' needs over my own. You know why? Because I got help with all that trauma years ago, and I'm still working through some of it. It's your responsibility to fix yourself so that you're not bleeding all over people that didn't cut you. Your children don't deserve this kind of financial abuse. Your ex-partner deserves it even less. They are an absolute hero, marching through the trenches every single day, loving your kids, taking care of your kids, paying all of these expenses up front. And then you have the audacity to pay what you can, when you can, and just like put the responsibility of holding all of these balls in the air on the co-parent that is also responsible for the day-to-day care of your children. I will never understand anyone who can behave this way. It's deplorable, it's immoral, it's illegal, and it needs to stop. You know, there's lots of measures in place to kind of hold those parents accountable, but it's very reactionary. My mortgage company doesn't care that I might get money 2, 3, 4 months down the road. They want their money when it's due. The number of parents that have to take on another burden of getting a lawyer and going to court and getting court orders and filing those orders with maintenance enforcement just to make sure that they can keep their own household afloat is staggering. If you're one of those parents that is doing this, cut it out. Your kids deserve better than that. Your ex-partner deserves better than that. If you have to sacrifice everything in your life to be able to financially support your children in the way that they deserve, then you do that. That is what being a parent is. Once you have children, whatever you have to do to be able to support your children, to put their needs ahead of your own, whatever that takes, you do it. You can make all the excuses in the world that you want, but none of them hold water. You've got mental health issues. Have you thought about the mental health of the person that you're doing this to and the mental health of your children that are inheriting this legacy of financial irresponsibility and abuse that you're laying on them? Deal with your mental health. Go find a counselor. Go to a trauma specialist. Do whatever it is that you need to do so that you can fix yourself and become the dependable, responsible parent that your children deserve. They are not required to pay the price for your lifetime of excuses and your lifetime of failing to take accountability for yourself. Your ability to blame the things that happened to you ended when you became an adult. It's been your responsibility your whole adult life to unpack whatever damage may have occurred to you as a child, or to continuously unpack things that have happened in your life since. And you don't get to just blame mental health as the reason that you are struggling to keep up with child support. That doesn't hold water. It's not your children's responsibility to carry the burden of your mental health. I'm not unsympathetic. I have struggled with my own mental health, but I have never, ever, and I never will use it as an excuse to harm my children. That is disgusting behavior. It's unacceptable. You're no different than anybody else in the world who has struggles and challenges and trauma and mental health stuff. Deal with it. Deal with it like a responsible adult, because that is what you need to be when you have children. Whatever other excuses you can come up with, none of them are valid. You're making excuses for something that is inexcusable. What you need to focus on is how to resolve the problem, whatever that looks like. Counseling, whether it's financial or emotional, paying off debt, curbing your spending, maybe selling a vehicle and using transit to get around. Whatever it takes, whatever you have to do, so that at the end of the day, you can balance your finances and prioritize the child support that your children are legally entitled to. Make sure that you're paying that first and foremost above anything else that you spend in a month. That is your obligation. And whatever sacrifice it takes for you to be able to meet that obligation is expected. That's what being a parent is. Your children don't have the option to get their needs met through any other means. You don't have the option to meet your kids' needs or choose not to. I don't understand how anybody can choose to have a child, a completely dependent, innocent human being in their life who didn't ask to be here, and then behave as if that child doesn't matter and that their needs are secondary to your own. So join me for more episodes of Deadbeat Diaries. There are many, many, many more ways in which irresponsible and inattentive co-parents create havoc, not just in their kids' lives, but in the parent's life, who is the primary custodian of the kids. I would love to hear any ideas you have for upcoming episodes. I have quite a few of my own, as I'm currently in the process of dealing with these kinds of situations. But let me know, is there a specific situation that you're dealing with that you want to vent about, that you want to hear me vent about? I've got lots to say about lots of different things. And again, these are not fun conversations. These are not pleasant conversations to have, but they need to happen. I see you. I am with you. And you're not doing this alone. There are so many parents like us. And there, unfortunately, are lots of parents that are doing this kind of thing. And collaboratively, maybe we can strategize and figure out a way to hold these people to ultimate account. Let me know your thoughts on this subject, any other subject you want me to talk about. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.